Hit that jive jack, put it in pocket till I get back. Going downtown to see a man and I ain't got time. Shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in pocket till I get back. Time and time waits for no man and I ain't got time. Shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in pocket till I get back. Going downtown to see a man and I ain't got time. Shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in pocket till I get back. Time and time waits for no man and I ain't got time. Shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in pocket till I get back. Going downtown to see a man and I ain't got time. Shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in pocket till I get back. Time and time waits for no man and I ain't got time. Shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in pocket till I get back. Going downtown to see a man and I ain't got time. Shake your hand. Hit that jive jack, put it in pocket till I get back. Time and time waits for no man and I ain't got time. Shake your hand.
While I was playing fair, baby, you played a cheat game. While I was playing fair, baby, you played a cheat game.
Hello and welcome everyone to the joinDOTA League Season number 8. It's TLC Gaming versing off against Team Dilecom tonight. I am your host at SubZeroDOTA, casting here for New Meta Media tonight. It's coming to the end of the group stages here in joinDOTA League Season number 8 as TLC Gaming top of the charts here, 10-0 against Team Dilecom, who, you know, they've done pretty well throughout the season. They're 9-3, nothing bad at all. Pretty good numbers to show for, so should be an interesting matchup between the two of them here. I have casted both teams in the past here, and I remember them being pretty good in the team fight. I remember one of them, believe it was TLC, was pretty hard on the push as well, so definitely interested to see what this game is going to bring tonight. Between the two teams, I mean, TLC Gaming casting, like I said, a lot of that push. I've seen them go for the Tiny a little while back, a Wind Ranger, some other things as well. Team Dilecom, I'm kind of looking out for the little bit of team fight here, as they have picked up Tusk and Winter Wyvern quite a bit in the past, as well as a Quap, but unfortunately, Quap right now being banned out by Dilecom to start off, as well as TLC Gaming taking out the heavy minus armor strat straight from the start here. Shadow Fiend gone, Slardar gone, so really going to go for that physical damage fight. They don't want Team Dilecom to jump on that, but it will be the Wyvern being picked up here, as Dilecom do snag one of their favorite picks here. It is something that they do tend to go for a lot, and without a doubt, she's definitely one of the better supports right now. Cold Embrace, such a good spell to throw down, whether it's early on in the laning phase. I mean, just so much survivability with that Cold Embrace that you can't really do too much. You don't have that much burst. It really doesn't matter actually what hero you are early on. You have a little bit of that burst damage on some intelligence heroes, what have you, but with Cold Embrace, I mean, that's all you got, because then you can't deal out any of the physical damage. So, like I said, Winter Wyvern, really strong early on. She can force people back with the Arctic Burn as well, but it will be TLC Gaming answering back here with pretty early strong laning domination with the stuns, as well as a little bit of mobility from the Spirit Breaker, so definitely pretty early mid-game pickup by them, so interesting to see what they're going to turn out here. Usually when you do pick up that Tusk, you kind of want to snowball, no pun intended, you want to snowball with him with other heroes so that you can propel yourself into the late game, mid-late game anyway, with a pretty comfortable cushion, so that you have pushed some towers down, you have taken enough tights, that you've built up a good enough lead that you can continue to go and push onto high ground without, you know, costing you too much. Team Dilecom picking up a Templar Assassin. They do ban out the Viper right away after that, so that is definitely one hero that can really shut down a TA, burns down the shield real quick, so definitely a good pick ban by them. And TA, definitely a pretty heavy physical damage dealer. They won't get the Slardar, they won't get the Shadow Fiend for the minus armor, because that would be a great combination, obviously, but, I mean, TA is pretty strong right now. She's definitely not one to want to give too much of an early lead to. They have played her quite a bit in the past. They have a pretty good win rate with her. I think about 70% around there for the Templar Assassin on Dilecom, which is, you know, pretty strong running on that mid hero. TLC Gaming banning out the AA, which of course definitely a great ban. AA is another one of those supports being picked up so often right now, and it is very strong. I don't think you really need to waste. Well, I mean, the Huskar ban, I suppose. Yeah, that does count. TLC Gaming could pick that up. They do have kind of that mid-game strat here, and everybody knows Huskar is pretty strong right now, throws out the dunks and continue to keep going with the armlet toggling and continue to deal out that heavy damage with the burning spears. So great ban out actually by Team Dilecom, and Earthshaker now gone out of the pool too. So a little bit of lockdown missing here from Dilecom to start out. They do have the Winter's Curse obviously from the Wyvern, but that's a pretty costly usage here for only one lockdown. They still have the 3 picks obviously. They have lots of room to get some sort of control. What they've picked up in the past, you know, they could go for a Lena, they could go for a Clockwork, but they already have that mid hero here on the TA, so I'm seeing it's a possible Clockwork. They have picked that enough in the past, and Darkseer already gone, so they don't have a little bit of control for him and a little bit of tankiness as well, so definitely I'm liking a Clockwork pick to jump in on these heroes. Tusk is a pretty decent counter with the Snowball, but other than that, you can trap these initiating heroes like the Spirit Breaker, like the Tusk, with Clock pretty well. As long, obviously, with the Snowball. But if you throw in the Clock with the Winter's Curse, it is a pretty strong domination. Then you have your Templar Assassin dealing out a lot of heavy right-click damage, and you know that can secure a team fight. That can secure those early lane kills. Also, TA, she can pick up the Desolator. Once she does that, she can start to push the towers. So Team Dilecom really looking for that, the quick pickoffs perhaps, so that they can actually get some objective gaming done. Lone Druid being picked up by TLC Gaming. Now, this is something that you don't see too often anymore. Obviously, I'm sure they've played it in the past. I haven't seen it actually come from TLC Gaming, so definitely interesting to see what they're going to do with that. Obviously, super tanky. So TLC Gaming right now, the Tusk, the Spirit Breaker, the Lone Druid, apart from the Tusk, really, really tanky early on. And, if Lone Druid builds up his bear, it really depends how he wants to do it, because they do have such strong team fight right now. You can toss in the bear with the snowball, so that's good damage to jump on. If they do get the entangle, it's pretty strong. But they can go for the tower push with the bear. That's something that I've seen a lot now. Instead of that classic, going into Skull Basher with the bear and Maelstrom and all that. It's good, of course. You deal with that damage, you get the strong right clicks, and the bear deals a lot of damage anyway to the towers. But, I mean, you can go on more of just a speed build rather than almost a team fighty build sort of way, but it's going to be interesting to see, because right now technically they have a 3-hero lockdown here. You have the charge and the bashes from the Spirit Breaker, obviously. You have the Tusk Snowball, you have the entangle coming from the bear, and on top of that you have the tankiness from 2 of your pretty major heroes right now. Depends if Spirit Breaker does go for that core, but I definitely have a feeling he might, as Tusk is being played as that kind of semi-support almost, and then you get a strong supporting lane hero. So that, as of yet, depends where Lone Druid really wants to go. He can do the offlane by himself more than enough, but with the Tusk and a Spirit Breaker, you're usually going to see them, one of those two, go into the offlane. So Lone Druid, there's so many options for him. He can solo lane pretty much any lane by himself. You're not going to really send him mid. He can do the jungle, and yeah, there's so many options for him. So they have a pretty well-rounded strat right now. It is all melee until they finally pick the Wind Ranger, and that's definitely something they're comfortable with. They've won quite a few games with the Wind Ranger before. This is where that push is coming from. So now that they have the Lone Druid and the Wind, definitely Wind probably going to be going mid on this one. So pretty strong here from TLC Gaming. If they do get early objectives, it's going to secure the farm for them on the Lone Druid especially, to be able to push down these towers and keep that going. As for Team Dilecom, now picking up the Dazzle, so they have a little bit of saving grace here for the TA, so she can continue to deal out this physical damage. However, when you have these tanky heroes, it's going to take a little bit longer to wear them down. So picking up the Dazzle with the Shallow Grave, with the heal bombs, the minus armor obviously from the Weave, that's pretty strong against this Lone Druid and the Spirit Breaker. And it will be a Doom slipping through the draft that they do manage to pick up here for their 4th draft, which is definitely going to be pretty good against this lineup. I mean, if you do throw out a Doom onto a Tusk, that limits that hero's potential dramatically. As well as on a Wind Ranger. If she can't get out a Focus Fire, if she can't get out Shackle, she's also kind of left in the dust there. There's not a lot she can do. Yeah, sure, she might be 5-6 slotted late game if they get there. She'll deal the damage, but she won't deal it quick, and that's what Wind Ranger usually goes for. She's going to put so much farm into an Aghanim Scepter early on, and if you do get a Doom on that, it's pretty strong that if she can't deal that out. So, decent pickup. That is a little bit of tankiness they have been lacking, and obviously Doom winning quite a few games here, and yeah, like I said, able to slip through the draft, and Dilecom will take the chance on that. They do ban out the Lich here, so taking away a little bit of extra armor here for TLC Gaming. That definitely would have been strong. I don't know about the Lich totally. The Frost Blast, yes, it's strong, but the Orb, Chain Frost, not the biggest deal here. I don't think it would have done too much to Dilecom. Nevertheless, they banned it out. As for TLC Gaming, taking away the Ember Spirit,
5 seconds remaining.
That could have definitely been a safe lane farming Ember Spirit. We have seen the Doom go quite a bit off lane lately in several of the games that I've cast before too, so Doom definitely right now can pretty much go to any lane. You don't really see him too often in the jungle anymore. It's just too hard for him to be able to regen and keep that continual growth until, he gets level 8. But at these stages, especially in Tier 2 and Tier 1, I mean, you're gonna sentry out that Doom. You're gonna find him in the jungle. You're gonna go hunting. He's just not gonna have an easy time in the jungle. So you'll probably see him in the off lane. Banning out the Ember Spirit, definitely a good idea, because they probably are looking for a safe laner here on Team Dilecom. Fifth pick coming up shortly here for TLC Gaming, having about 15 seconds left. They got to make up their decision, and they definitely could use the range. They do have the Wind Ranger. If they do go for that extra support, they actually turn to go for a Morphling, which is definitely interesting right now. Now they have a little bit of burst early on. It depends. I mean, I've seen a Morphling support in the past, which is pretty strong. You do get the adaptive strike out there, and it can be really tough if he is that support that goes in the strength gain, because throws at almost a 5-second stun, and then it's just so difficult to take him down after when he morphs the strength. That is strong, but I feel like they're really wanting to go for this burst, so you could see the support Tusk and Spirit Breaker combo. A little shaky that they're both melee, and they're going to lack a lot of items that they might need, like Phase Boots running in for the Tusk or something like that. Spirit Breaker maybe wanting in quick early on earn so he can start ganking, but you're not going to see that if they're both supporting. And it will be a fifth pick as a Centaur War Runner, so definitely interesting from Team Dilecom. They're getting a stun that they graciously needed, as they didn't really have much lockdown. Doom, yes, he can pick up the Rock Golems, but yeah, Centaur War Runner, definitely going to give them some more tankiness, like I said, which is what they need. And, you know, it'll be interesting to see these two teams go down here. Definitely early fight from actually both teams now with this fifth pick. And lanes are going to change up a little bit. I'm not sure. This could be a safe lane farming Doom now that I see the Centaur come out. And it'll probably be him off lane. He could solo it and could just have the Werven and Dazzle combo holding that Doom's hand all the way through to, you know, be able to go into the jungle, dip into the jungle real quick, grab a little bit of farm, come back to lane, and grab that level 6 real quick. They can rotate obviously really well. Winter Werven slowing down for the Centaur to get a good stomp off, so definitely strong for them. As for TLC Gaming, right up their alley, as they're 10-0, and they should do quite well in this one. So here we go, game number 1. As for TLC, we have Kirk on the Tusk, we have Yogurt on the Wind Ranger, Zeo on the Spirit Breaker, Ifrit on the Lone Druid, and we have Yogurt number 3 on the Morphling. Meanwhile, down on Team Dilecom, we have Bake Mono on the Centaur War Runner, which looks to be going safe lane. Interesting for sure. We have A on the Templar Assassin, Jericho on the Dazzle, Furler on the Winter Werven, and we have Nandi Oyani. I'm just going to call you Annie on the Doom. Definitely interesting to see this Centaur going on to the safe lane. It's not something that you're going to see too often, and it looks like there is going to be quite a huge group up here on for TLC, and they do have a lot of that early stun. And as Morph wanders into the jungle here, he will spot out the Centaur War Runner, so they know he's down here. He's going to have to head back to and hug tower, so this should be a free rune here for TLC. As for Team Dilecom, should be just okay here in the river, as looks like they're not going to have any contention here as they pop down an observer ward down on bottom, so we'll block the camp and we'll see if it gets spotted out soon. Looks like they're going to put that early rune onto the Wind Ranger. And up top it will be a free rune to A, so as it turns out it will be the Templar Assassin running up probably against the Wind Ranger. As it looks like Winter Werven's going to draw down, and he's going to come support the Centaur down on bottom, which is probably most needed, as you don't want to give this Morph too much farm. It's pretty difficult for a Morph to farm early on, quite comfortably, but once he does come online in support with a Spirit Breaker, I mean, that's a lot of zoning out, because combination of waveform with the charge, if he gets lucky with a couple of bashes, it's pretty strong to go up against a Centaur, even though he is so tanky. Hasn't leveled anything quite yet, waiting for it. The charge does come out, does level the stomp, so we'll get it on 2. As Winter Werven's still pretty far away, but I don't think they can really chase us down too far, just not enough burst damage quite yet. As it'll be a little bit longer for the charge to come up again, they're just going to trade a couple hits here back and forth. Meanwhile, Morph just going to continue to farm it. Down on mid, it will be A falling pretty low to the Wind Ranger early on, as he does have a Shackle Shot, throws up the shield in time, and he's actually going to chase for this, so this could be a first blood coming either way, as Dazzle will rotate in, Salve going off as well, and Tower taking heavy hits onto Yogurt, as just about 20 life points away from falling, so they might have been able to turn that, but they're going to play it pretty safe, let A start to continue to farm this up, as Dilecom's definitely going to need this early game to propel this TA. Once you get a TA online, if she gets it early on, if she does go for a Deso or a Blink, you're sitting pretty comfortable. I mean, that's just snowball potential all over, and then you start winning team fights all over the lanes, and with heroes like the Centaur, like the Doom, you get those early levels, you get that early gold, and you're sitting pretty comfortable. Meanwhile, up on top, it'll be Nand on the Doom, being harassed out by Kirk on the Tusk, and you know, Ifrit's going to have a pretty okay time here too, farming on the Barret. This is a Tusk that's going to be able to support quite well, hasn't leveled, just leveled into stats actually, so you're going to see him continue to do that, as picking up the Ice Shards and the Snowball, not quite yet, but once he does, that's going to zone out this Doom even more, and it's going to be that much more difficult for him to farm up or get any sort of XP, so Doom going to look for that early rune here, and he will pick up a bounty, so desperately needed, as he's sitting at almost level 3 and just going to have a little bit of a difficult time. Meanwhile, down on mid, First Blood did go down here 2A on the Templar Assassin, so taking down the Wind Ranger by herself, solo kill for her, and that's going to boost her to a level 4, which is pretty comfortable for this TA early on. She gets that gold, and will be boots and a bottle coming out on the courier. Down on bottom, a little bit of a rotation here, as A is going to start to get gone out, and I don't believe he has enough mana here, as the Stomp does come out. Waiting for it, and he will go down to the Dazzle, so that's another kill here for Team Dilecom, as Doom actually getting a kill onto the Tusk by himself, as he must have caught him stacking creep there, and falling down pretty low, he will secure himself a solo kill, so pretty strong in all lanes here so far, as Team Dilecom really taking an early lead. A going on the Wind Ranger yet again, and stuttering a little bit, is just going to take it easy, continue to farm, and so take a look at the last hits. Lone Druid obviously top of the charts, 20 last hits, as TA comes short in second here at 16, so way ahead of this Wind Ranger, as she's only got 6 last hits. Does have the null tally, dealing out a little bit extra damage, but with that death, just going to have a hard time against this Templar Assassin, as Dazzle does look to rotate in, throws off the Poison Touch, and they want to chase this down, but with the Wind run up, she's not going to be able to do too much, as there's going to be a little bit of rotation back and forth. Meanwhile, down on bottom, Snowball does come out onto Furler, does have the Arctic Burn if he needs it. Ice Shards do come up, and he's running pretty low, the charge still available, but they don't want to dive under this tower quite yet, as they're not that tanky. And the Arctic Burn does come out onto Zeo, and falling a little bit short here, as does have a Tango and a little bit of Magic Wand here, so can heal up if he needs to. Rune coming up in a second, hoping for a regen rune, and he will actually get it. Lucky bugger, as Tusk actually steals it, so little miscommunication between these two Romy supports. Centaur has picked up his early boots, so looking to be able to jump in, get a little bit of farming done, or a little bit of harass and be able to jump out, as he's staying way underneath the tower. They don't have any vision quite yet, sitting in the dark, don't really know what's going on. And you don't want to jump out too quick, especially with the Tusk snowballing in. And they're actually going to rotate on the mid. Charge does come out onto the Templar Assassin. Yogurt's pretty low still here on the Wind Ranger, so they don't want to chase this too deep, as shield is still up. And it still hasn't popped yet, and it finally will go down now, but they actually will get the Spirit Breaker kill first here, before the Templar Assassin even really gets any major damage on it. And you know what, they're actually going to get a second kill here, so Winter Wyvern picking up the first onto the Spirit Breaker, and Tusk will fall down to the Templar Assassin, so 2 easy kills, as the actual gank was for the Templar Assassin on mid, but the Winter Wyvern rotation will secure her a little bit of extra gold and XP, and she's sitting really comfortably top of the charts here for last hits, and well ahead this Wind Ranger, so current net worth 3,200, 3,300 here for the Templar Assassin, as Wind Ranger just so poor at only 1,200, and should be able to afford her boots soon. Meanwhile, Spirit Breaker will take a kill here onto the Dazzle on Jericho. Must have been up on top here, so we'll fall down there. A little bit extra here for the Spirit Breaker, as he did fall on mid. And they're actually going to rotate into a tri-lane here, keep protecting this Lone Druid, and they're setting pretty much all their weight onto his shoulders here, onto the Scottish Bear, as they're going to really need him to propel his farm out of this and really turn some team fights to really get some tower push done here. Spirit Bear already picking up the phase boots here. So already dealing a little bit of damage, and it looks like he's going to keep rotating into the jungle, grabbing that farm. Meanwhile, down on mid lane, looks like there will be a rotational smoke coming into this Dazzle, as this looks like it could be it for him. There is a haste rune available, but Shackle Shot does go out. Haste rune grabbed by the Wind Ranger, as Tusk will secure that kill onto the Dazzle. Quite a bit of damage being dealt here by the Templar Assassin, but doesn't want to chase it quite yet. She does have the phase boots, does have the ring, so what's flying in on the courier will be the refilled bottle. And she won't actually find the Spirit Breaker, as he does have a charge available. This courier still continuing to grab her, as Spirit Breaker won't be able to lock that one down. So continuing to farm up on mid here, doing quite well for herself, 37 and 21. Slowly just going to harass out the Wind Ranger. Meanwhile, down on bottom, let's take a look at this Morphling. Has the Mango, already finished the Tranquil Boots, almost level 6 as well. So now that the Centaur actually has picked up a level into return, he's not actually harassing too often. And although he's falling pretty low, has picked up the Stampede. And I don't think Morph's going to want to dive this too far, as actually a Spirit Breaker charge does come out, but it is from inside the jungle, and I believe the tower did spot that, so they can't dive this too deep. They know the Morphling is in here, trying to pull off the camps, as Jericho and the Dazzle does rotate in with the Winter Wyvern. Mana for 1 Arctic Burn. They can actually chase this kill down if they want, but it doesn't look like they're going for anything quite yet. Only enough mana here for a waveform, and they're actually going to let him go pretty much scot-free. They finally do throw out the Stampede, and the rotation does come in from the Tusk. Snowball going out with the Spirit Breaker, waiting for some Ice Shards. Throws it out finally onto the Centaur. Not doing enough damage really yet to bring him down, as 3 do rotate in, dealing all the damage onto him. Still a Cold Embrace available on the Winter Wyvern. She will toss it out onto the Centaur. The Courier does come in, but nobody wants to snipe that, as Morphling will turn around and get a kill onto the Dazzle, as the Tusk will actually fall to the TA as she rotates in. And here comes the Doom as well, as they're going to start to chase down these 2 kills. Looking for extra. They will get the first onto the Spirit Breaker, and it looks like the Morphling is pretty well out of mana and will fall down to the Centaur War Runner. So that's going to end up being a 3-for-1 trade. Just a lonely Dazzle going down for the Morphling, Spirit Breaker, and the Tusk. So Team Dilecom taking a pretty early lead here with controlling these team fights, as the XP already above 2,000 here for Dilecom, as well as net worth for a 4K lead, so doing quite well here for Team Dilecom, as they're really taking it to TLC early on in the game. Charge coming out onto the Centaur, forcing him back. And this is exactly what Dilecom needed to get done. That early lineup with the Templar Assassin, as they're securing a little bit of XP here for the Doom. And now that he's rotating into the jungle, he's already finished his Tranquil, he's starting to get a little bit tankier and has the Doom available. So you might see him rotate into this, and they might even 5-stack here pretty soon. Templar Assassin cleaning up a little bit of the ancient stacks here, and you know, she's sitting here close onto 1800 gold, and with that, she might actually look to go for an early deso, as she's outputting a decent amount of damage early on. She might continue to do that just so they can start to crush. Meanwhile, down on bottom, they've rotated 3 in here for TLC, as Tusk, Spirit Breaker, and the Morphling do come back down bottom. They do spot out the Tusk. Doom's slowly going to chase this down, but he doesn't want to get separated from his team too much, as they are pinging out the Morph. They want to go on him, and Doom wants to throw down his level 6 here. Will get spotted and just too far away to initiate that. As top, slowly going to get farmed out here by the Lone Druid. He's definitely coming up in second here against the TAs. 56 last hits now, as he does snag that one, and he's sitting pretty comfortable on the farm. Taking a look at the bear. We'll have a Glove of Haste on here, and he might actually go for that early Hand of Midas onto the bear, which is, you know, if they do look for the late game, they're definitely going to have it, especially with that Morph and the Windrunner. Meanwhile, down on bottom, looks like there could be an engagement here, waiting to go on the Morph, as he is pretty much out of mana, so can't waveform, as the Stampede does come out, and he does expend the Mango, but it is too little too late, as the Doom does come out onto the Morph. They're waiting for that last right click, and it will be the Centaur picking up that kill. And you can see the power of the Doom with this pick up here. Their 4th pick, controlling this Morphling now, as pretty much with a Morph, you have to be able to dip out with that waveform or initiate, and if once you're doomed up, there's not a lot you can do on that hero. As they rotate 4 in here for Dilecom, do mana up, they do get a little bit of health onto the Centaur, and they might actually look to push this, as TPs do come back from this Morph, and they want to continue to contest this lane. As Charge coming out onto the Doom, but doesn't get it quite yet. Meanwhile, top tower will fall down to the Lone Druid, so a little bit extra gold here for TLC, but Doom will cut the wave here as he does rotate back up top. Meanwhile, down on mid, double damage was activated here for the Templar Assassin, and did push the tower quite low. Is in deny range, but Yogurt's got to be careful here on mid. They're falling pretty low, but should be able to get this denied, and she will, as this TA does pick up the Mithril Hammer here, and that's going to suggest that she will go for that early Desolator. Meanwhile, up on top, Scorched Earth coming up from the Doom, and he feels like he has this bear on tilt, as Spirit Bear is running pretty low, does resummon it. Doom sitting pretty comfortable, has that tanky item, all the tanky items up. Maybe going for an early Vlad's. Definitely indeed, and already level 8. Definitely well ahead of his curve at 11 minutes. Meanwhile, Down on bottom, it looks like they've all rotated 3 in here for Team Dilecom, really securing a farm onto Central Warrunner, which is not what you see too often, but they're really harassing out this Morphling, which is exactly what they need to do. They can't let this Morph get online because, like I said before, they have so much potential for late game, so if they can actually block the farm up of one of their heavy farmers, this is going to prove pretty well for Dilecom and pretty dire here for TLC, as Morph stuck to Tranquil Boots and a Magic Wand. Barely any gold to his name. Lone Druid's really their comfortable farmer here, is just waiting on enough gold here. 200 short here for this Midas and he'll get it on. And that's on pretty late Midas, especially with the free farm that he's had. He has had 73 last hits, but I don't know. A little bit of a rotation here. They haven't got a lot done, only the one tower gone, so this Deso pickup by the TA will actually start to be used here down on bottom as Kirk trying to TB out, but just too much damage being done as they do actually rotate straight in the Rosh pit, already way below half here, as the Deso crushing this Roshan in the pit here, and this will be a free Aegis straight onto the Templar Assassin. This is the kind of lead that I was talking about early on. As soon as you get this lead onto a TA, you just really have to be so cautious that you're going to be able to continue against this early strat lineup. I mean, a Centaur with a Stomp now has the Blink Dagger online, the saving grace of a Dazzle, the initiation, and the burst from a Winter Wyvern. On top of this well-farmed TA, it's definitely it's dire straits here for TLC, as they've given just the wrong farm to the wrong hero on this TA. Meanwhile, Doom does have his Doom back up, is being gone on by the Spirit Breaker, has ran out of mana, so unfortunately, not able to charge here once it does come up in about 4 seconds as they do rotate on the Morph, gets stunned up onto the Doom, waiting for the Doom to come out, and it will go out on the Morph. Stomp coming out from Bake Mono as he does deal out a decent amount of damage. They're going to try to chase this down as Winter Curse does come out from the Wyvern. They're running pretty low, but not low enough yet as they want to start to chase this down. Arctic Burn coming out to slow them down as Dazzle does relocate in for the Shallow Grave. Stomp coming out yet again, but they're just so damn tanky onto TLC. It takes them that long to just take down a Spirit Breaker, and they're dealing quite a bit of damage as Wind Ranger does rotate in. TA will get the kill onto the Morphling as Yogurt's going to start to pick up a couple kills of his own. He does pick up the Doom, power shots onto the Dazzle, so that's 2 for her. And they're going to look to chase this down as he does bottle up, but this Desolator doing so much damage as the burst does come out from the Templar Assassin. Wicked kill streak for her. And that's going to pretty much be the end of that team fight. They're going to continue to push this tower down, and she's going to be careful though. Running out of mana, she still has the Aegis online, and no, she might actually look to just continue to keep going divey as Tusk Snowball will come out as well as the charge, but Tusk needs to be careful as it will be the splash coming from the Winter Wyvern that does secure him that kill. And they're going to just continue to do this with the Aegis online. They kind of need to break this off. Still doesn't have any team relocated in as a little bit of mana coming from the Wyvern just to aid her as long as she possibly can. And, you know, both teams actually pretty low on health here as this TA is continuing to burst down these heroes with this Desolator. Spirit Breaker now falling, and it could be the Morph next as the Doom does relocate in here. 15 seconds still on the Doom, so not quite yet. As TA does have the Blink Dagger, just does jump forward. Still with the Aegis online, it will finally be popped, but they might look to continue with this team fight. And this is just ongoing as the Dazzle throws out the Poison Touch to throw out the Wind Ranger. Doesn't have the Wind Round yet for another 3 seconds, and will be bursted down by the Templar Assassin. Godlike streak for her. And this has kind of been the Templar Assassin show. I mean, there's not a lot they can do with this early Deso online. 9 kills, 3 assists for this Templar Assassin, along with the Centaur Warrunner. 3 kills for him. Still no deaths here. Just 5 single deaths here on for Team Dilecom, as TLC kind of out of option here. They can't let this Lone Druid farm up too much in basic safety. I mean, Spirit Breaker all the way down on bottom here, trying to farm up a little bit here. Does pick up his power treads to get a little bit tanky, but meanwhile, their tier 2 just got crushed. They pushed that lane all the way up and secured all of that open farm here as they're going to steal the jungle away from the Lone Druid. Doom now picked up a Hand of Midas as well, so he's going to be pretty comfortable to secure his own late game. And maybe look for that Aghanim Scepter. Does have the drums actually coming online, so you'll see that, and they might actually chase down these kills. Take a look at the supports here. Dazzle has picked up Medallion of Courage, so a little bit of minus armor here, not too much, but whatever you do get is pretty important, especially when you're on a Dazzle. Throwing out the Weave plus the Medallion, it's pretty strong with that minus armor burst, especially with a TA on your team. As for Winter Wyvern, does have the Glimmer Cape, and she is pretty healthy here, full of farm, as not even close to the bottom of net worth. She's actually almost secured 4,000 in net worth, well ahead of the Spirit Breaker, well ahead of the Tusk, and the Morph only has 1900 net worth. Just been zoned out the entire time as Doom will go out. Spirit Breaker charging in, but cliffs himself to hold off for a little bit longer as he doesn't want to chase this too far, but they actually have spotted this out as he does get bursted down by the Templar Assassin. And this should be an easy secured tower for them.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I'm not sure what kind of an answer that TLC is going to have here. I mean, they're just getting crushed. Blink Forward will be coming from the Centaur Runner, and they do pretty much jam up this Windrunner as she's not going to be able to escape. Another kill for the Templar Assassin. Winter's Curse does go out on the Tusk. It'll be yet another one, and she's just beyond godlike here. She just cannot go down, and she's just going to sit there taking tower hits, just switching phase through. It's completely taunting this team that she's just so far ahead. They will take out the tier 1 tower, and they're going to continue to push this lane. And I mean, this Lone Druid getting a little bit in return here does take out the tier 1 mid tower, and he knows he needs to get some sort of scramble done as the Bears picked up a Midas, but your late game's not going to be there for much longer if these towers continue to go down with this sort of lead onto a Templar Assassin. She's picked up the Blank, as said before, she's picked up the Deso, and she has 4k in the bank and still hasn't even opted to buy anything yet as they look to go high ground here, and they're just going to continue to stop this tower. Blink ahead forward onto the Templar Assassin. Tusk throwing out the snowball, punches her up into the air as Spearbreaker does charge in as well. Still no weave yet from the Dazzle, but Spearbreaker will be blown away with the Desolator. Good Shackle Shot coming out, but just look at the damage. Barely any damage onto the Centaur War Runner here as they will blink forward. This will be another kill onto the Lone Druid as well as the Wind Ranger. Pings are coming out from the Morph. They want to jump on him, but what's the point? You might as well secure your objectives here. This is pretty much game. And we're 18 minutes in, and they've just walked over TLC. A team that's so far ahead of the leaderboards in the group stages, and they've just completely crushed them. They've let this Doom slip through, and the Dooms have been pretty strong. That'll be another kill for this TA, but there's just no stopping her. Literally no stopping her. And I don't know what she's bought here. If she's grabbed something from the courier or what, but it doesn't matter. Like they're going to secure this Rax. They can't go mid. They still have that T2, but
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, there's not a lot TLC can do. Ross, you don't know if he's going to be up for another 2 minutes here. They've already secured top, so they're actually going to go back to farming here, it looks like, as it will be a Daedalus coming out for the Templar Assassin. And I mean, why not? Go glass cannon build. Just go for it, because there's no sense of tanking up. You're blowing up these heroes in about 2 swift clicks anyway, that you're just so far ahead, you can just go for that burst. And as I was saying, they let the Doom slip through. You might not think that the Doom's been doing that much, but these perfect time Dooms onto the Morph has shut him down so much that he's bottom of net worth. A solo lane Morph is bottom of net worth, which is just unbelievable. Just no farm available for him. As, I mean, 13-0-5 for this Templar Assassin, just way above everybody. And, I mean, they're grouping up here, and the smoke does come out. We'll see what they make of it, as the TA illusion does walk through, so they won't be able to spot this out. As it does get popped, they're going to walk right in the Dazzle, as the wave does go onto the Doom first, and Stomp's coming out, and Jericho almost gets blown up here, but it will be the TA picking up 2 easy kills. Doom going out onto the Wind Ranger, gets blocked up by the Ice Shards for a little bit here, as the Doom's just going to look for her, try and scout her out, but she's slowly falling to the Doom. This should be enough damage either way, but TA's pretty greedy right now. She's just going to steal that kill, 16-0. And, I mean, they're going to chase down this Morph. Winter's Curse coming out from Furler just to secure it, and they're going to call GG. Literally nothing more that TLC can do, as they completely stomp TLC in this game number 1. I mean, I haven't seen that good of a stomping in quite some time. That was ridiculous. Just completely crushed the top tier team in this America division. As Team Dilecom get the Doom slipping through, they more than walked over them. I don't know what else to call it. Templar Assassin, almost 800 gold per minute here as she's just cleaning up kills left, right, and center. And this Morphling, just so sad, didn't die as much as I actually thought he did initially, but no farm for him. Literally no farm. Had 32 last hits and bottom of net worth, as Team Dilecom just coming out swinging here against TLC in game number 1. So, I mean, say what you want, but this is going to be proved to be a pretty hard game number 2 for TLC, as the top team is looking a little bit of struggles here early on as they let the Doom slip through, as well as the TA. We're going to go to game number 2 here shortly. Be back with you in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. Game number 2 here for joinDOTA League. Season number 8 here between
Radiant
Team Dilecom
Team
and TLC Gaming. TLC getting crushed, absolutely crushed in game number 1. Just outright stomp. I don't know what else to say. I'll stop it at that because, I mean, brand new game here, but that Templar Assassin just completely dominated against TLC Gaming. Won their early game on mid, won the rotations without a doubt, and even get a little cocky there then, just jumping forward, taking kill after kill. I think she finished at 16 kills and no deaths, so, I mean, why the hell not? She's just so ahead, and they're going to look to continue this kind of streak here, hopefully against TLC Gaming.
10 seconds remaining.
TLC will lose their first one, and I've seen quite some time here.
5 seconds
10-0 for total wins and losses here for TLC, so could be Dilecom taking a 2-0 sweep, which would be the first time against TLC Gaming in these group stages. As for Dilecom, with this secured win, they're getting pretty top of the charts here. Currently sitting in 3rd place, but if they do win the second round, they will be ahead of Perfection Vor in the group stages of the American division, and that'll bring them up to number 2 here, sitting right underneath TLC Gaming. So really fighting here for a high spot here coming out into the playoffs. So game number 2 should be proving to be quite an early team fight, I think. Again, it just worked so well for them originally. And you know what? They're going to pick up that Winter Wyvern again, right? Quick first pick, and I mean, you didn't see it too often. A couple of kills were secured with the curse onto that morph just before they called GG. Couple early ones in the lane as well, I believe. But just the Cold Embrace, I mean, used it just a couple of key times, and it ended up proving just exactly what they needed. The Arctic Burn, definitely a great slow to either zone out or continue to snowball, and that TA was able to blink ahead and just 2-hit whoever she was going after, if it was the Tusk or the Breaker, whoever it was. So wasn't the most amazing pick by any chance, but it definitely didn't hinder them at all. It proved pretty useful early in the stage, as you know, I thought the Morph was going to do quite well with the rotations from a Spirit Breaker and Tusk, but ended up getting stomped on. It was lowest in net worth, which is unbelievable. And you know, TLC Gaming going to shake the cards up here as they do grab an Ancient Apparition as well as the Earthshaker. They ban off the Tusk this time. They don't even want to see it. They don't even want to see it, as it didn't really work out last time. The Snowball's a great idea and all, but they tried to chase down a kill. It was 3 against 1 until the Wyvern rotated on mid, and that's really when the TA got her early lead. I mean, pretty much 3 kills wrapped around that, I believe, and from then on she just stormed. So they're going to grab an Ancient Apparition and, you know, hope that Ice Blast has some sort of control here. It is a great tool against the Cold Embrace of the Winter Wyvern.
Radiant team
with that, I mean, that'll slow down this Team Dilecom a little bit, but they will answer back with the Templar Assassin yet again. Just really dominated, and it's actually going to be banning out the Wind Ranger here. So even though she didn't have a great time running mid,
10 seconds remaining.
I believe it was one of the units.
Either
way, Wind Ranger mid is pretty strong. They don't want to see that anymore. The Shackle, you know, did jump them a couple of kills there on the top lane, but other than that, I felt like the Wind Ranger was pretty much lackluster the whole game. However, they don't want to see it, so they're going to ban it out. They're going to take away any sort of comfort pick for TLC Gaming, and you know, actually, Wind Ranger was a comfort pick, so you might see a Tiny come up this game, as they have used it in the past, and that adds a little bit of extra pressure here for the push and the late game, because you never want to see a Tiny come on board. And Tiny does kind of work in this almost a similar way that Templar Assassin does nowadays, is people are just running over with a huge, just the Rock Smash combo of Avalanche and then Toss. People are going kill after kill and changing up his pretty much his whole feature of Tiny until the late game, obviously. I mean, usually you want to secure a little bit of early farm on the Tiny until you can grab that Ags and whatnot, so that you can start to push towers or take team fights, but it seems like he's just chasing kills no matter what anymore. So he does kind of work in that little bit of a snowball way, and then can take towers, other objectives, other team fights later on. So you could see a Tiny come up from the TLC Gaming. They do ban out the Doom this time. It won't be slipping through for Dilecom. They can't pick up their favorite little off-laner there, as he did have actually a decent time. Viper being banned out yet again here for Team Dilecom, so just trying to prove this matchup with this TA so comfortable, as I mean, she destroyed the Wind Ranger last time, but they're just going to make it easier. But it will be a change up here. Night Stalker being picked up by TLC Gaming. Now, this is something I've definitely seen in the past. Obviously, Night Stalker, a strong hero. They have played it before. And right now, you do get that Aghanim Scepter online. You do get the gem. And then you just have so much vision. especially in the nighttime. I mean, you're walking around, dewarding, spotting out any enemy heroes or couriers, what have you. You can get the pickoffs that way too. And with this initiation, I mean, they'll have so much vision that they can throw down a huge Ice Blast, be ready for it, jump in with an Earth Shaker combo, even get a Fissure just to block. I mean, the vision is so useful from the Night Stalker. So this could definitely be a core shaker, as the Night Stalker we've seen support so often lately. But, I mean, different teams shake up the lineups. They change it up all the time, so it'll definitely be interesting to see. As interesting Ben, I mean, from TLC Gaming, they do get the Doom, obviously, like I said, but the Bane, definitely not something I'd see on Team Dilecom. I mean, they really want to control this early team fight, which is great. You throw down the Nightmare, or you do get the Brain Sap, but they're going to change it up. They're going to grab a Beastmaster here for Dilecom, and that's going to be pretty useful, as I felt like the push last game wasn't totally there until the TA did get Ardeso and they were able to come online, but that was pure out of snowball and direct play. It wasn't out of the draft. I mean, this TA just played so comfortably. She was just in her zone from the get-go, and once you get those early kills on her, that's exactly what a TA does. So Beastmaster being picked up, that'll give them a little bit of extra push that they may have needed just in case the game doesn't go as well. You can't discredit TLC. I mean, yes, they might have got pummeled in the first game, but they're still top of this bracket. They know what they're doing, and being crushed like that, they're gonna come out swinging. They're gonna draft things that they focused on, that they know they can win. And to change up the lineup a little bit, they do get the shout, obviously, from the Beastmaster, so they do get a decent stun. And with this gyrocopter being picked up, that's definitely going to be important. With the BKB gyrocopter wanting to dish out so much damage, cooldown's not as useful as it used to be. It doesn't really deal out the damage, but I mean, you do lock in enough with an Earthshaker with the Ancient Apparition. That is a lot of burst damage altogether, and that will deal enough to really take down these heroes. I mean, TA can shield up, she can survive through most of it, but you do get a Crippling Fear on one of their supports on Dilecom with the Night Stalker, and they're kind of wiped down, but they do answer back with the Juggernaut, which is definitely a carry that's been pretty profound lately in this patch, as the Healing Ward's such a great combination. It's definitely a little odd to see picked so late in the draft. I mean, usually you do with the Jugs, but with his first pick AA from TLC Gaming, it's something you want to usually shy away from. Throwing down the Healing Ward is just so important for this Juggernaut to survive. Yes, he deals the damage. Yes, you can get an Agnum Scepter for the Omni Slash, but after that, you're kind of useless unless you can continue to go through the fights as a healthy hero. You need to count on this Healing Ward, and if he does get the Ice Blast on him, it's really going to prove unreliable for a Juggernaut carry. That being said, Dilecom definitely knows how to play this early game. Before this AA might even get the Ice Blast on, they might have already taken objectives, so they're going to pretty much stand on the shoulders of this Templar Assassin again, I think, until some of their heroes can get some items online. They ban out the Razor, so they don't want to see any more sort of push coming from TLC, as, you know, I thought they had a little bit from the last game, but I don't see it at all this game until a Gyro really gets 4 or 5 slotted. I mean, Ancient Apparition doesn't push. Earthshaker can block a wave, sort of. He can clear a wave decently, but you're not going to rely on that too much. And a Night Stalker just has single target click, so taking away the push here from a Razor, they still do need a mid hero for TLC Gaming. Could be a number of things. The Wind Ranger obviously banned out again. They have played several other things mid in the past. It's difficult for them to go here. I mean, they could grab a Lina, a little bit extra stun, definitely some burst here onto the Juggernaut with the Blade Fury up, but I feel like Templar Assassin's going to stomp on Alina pretty heavily. I mean, just having the shields on the Templar Assassin wins mid so much, so often, and that's why they got rid of the Viper, because there's so much less out there that actually wins a lane against a TA once she does get the Psy Blades, other than like a Viper. The Viper will knock her shield down from the ticks of the poison, and that's exactly what they need, but now they don't have anything to really control. So yes, picking up Alina might burst down some other heroes, really good against a Juggernaut, but I don't see a huge lineup from TLC right now. They're going to put so much onto this Gyrocopter, but if he doesn't get farm, just like they shut down the Morph last time, there's no farm to be had. I mean, they walked over TLC with a lone druid who has such a
10
tanky bear,
seconds
but they just
remaining.
jumped ahead and killed him instantly. Like, they didn't even have to worry about zoning
5
or running,
seconds remaining.
kiting from the bear. And they will go for the Shadow Fiend, which is
Dire
something I
team
wouldn't. I obviously saw it go through the draft, but I just didn't think it was going to happen at all. There's just so much burst onto a Shadow Fiend. He's just so insignificant early on in the lane. Yes, a Shadow Fiend eventually will win a lane. You pick up the Shadow Races, you get enough souls eaten up. I mean, once you get to that 29 soul mark, you're dealing out a decent enough damage that you can control a lane, without a doubt. Doesn't matter who it is. But TA early on will just force him out. You can get an early meld onto the TA and continue to push that down, and then the Shadow Fiend's looking to get his jungle stacked, but Bounty will probably be roaming here on Jericho, and I mean, he's going to find the Shadow Fiend out, most likely, but either way, we'll see how it goes here. Game number 2 will be Team Dilecom with the 1-0 so far over TLC Gaming. Completely shaken up lineups here, except for a couple picks here for Team Dilecom, and I'm definitely looking forward to this one. As for you in the chat right now, yeah, I think Team Archon will take it. I'll agree with you. I'll say Archon's going to take it, but I do like complexity. I'll give you that one. But go ahead and follow us on Twitch if you're liking the stream so far,
10
and for game number
seconds
2.
remaining.
And follow me on Twitter. I'm at SubZeroDOTA. And
5
you can follow the rest
seconds
of the team at NMMDOTA. You'll see in the top left. And we're here for game number 2, as it will be Team Dilecom on the Dire side. It will be
Prepare
Furler
for
on the
battle.
Winter Wyvern again, A running on the Templar Assassin. We will have the Beastmaster, played by Nend. Jericho on the Bounty Hunter, and it will be Bake Mono on the Juggernaut. Meanwhile, on the other side, TLC running the Night Stalker on Zyle. Coming in right behind him, it will be Ifrit on the Shadow Fiend. Yogurt number 3 on Earthshaker. Kirk on the Ancient Apparition. And Yogurt number 2 on the Gyrocopter, as it will be an early conglomeration here of heroes for TLC, as the Night Stalker will spot out the Juggernaut. Drops the Observer Wards for now. Playing a little cocky here. And they will actually void up the Juggernaut early on. Does grab the Blade Spin, so he should be okay as soon as he gets back to tower. And one more right click, there's not a lot you can do. So they're just going to look to run around the
30
jungle. They spot him
seconds
out,
to
they know
battle.
what's coming, so they're just going to play it safe. Meanwhile, down on bottom, Observer Ward will go down into the early jungle, so both of them just blocking out that first set of camps. And this should be a pretty even split for both Bounty Runes, as Vision's up pretty well. Got the bird, got the boar here for Team Dilecom. Ping's going out aggressively. They know what's up. So it'll be Gyro wanting to chase down this boar, wants to click on it, but he's going to run into a couple of heroes here. I'm not sure what this is about, as the boar does get summoned again. This will be a slow onto Yogurt. Gyro does have a Rocket Barrage available. I don't know if they want to dive this too far, as they're running a little bit low here. Gets blocked up by the Ancient Apparition, and this could be first blood either way, as they're looking for that last click onto, and they will get the first blood here onto the Gyrocopter, but they do trade the bounty for it. They will be split, but waiting for one more hit onto the Beastmaster, and you know what? He's going to go down eventually to the Ancient Apparition, so it will be a 2-for-1
Radiant's
trade
middle
here.
tower is under attack.
But they do give up the Gyro pretty early on, which is... I mean, it's difficult to say. Obviously, TLC is going to take the win on that one, getting the 2 early quick kills. But losing the Gyro early on, it's pretty tough for him. He will go down to bottom. He will be facing off against the Beastmaster. No surprise there. And depending on the micro here, can get harassed by the boar quite well. I mean, he's only got just under 500 HP. Could be a little bit difficult, but I think he's going to get a little bit better farm useful here than the Lone Druid did in last game. Meanwhile on mid, it'll be 3 rotating into Ifrit, and this is going to be a kill for him. Bounty Hunter picking up the credit for that one, so already an early rotation coming out from Furler as well as Jericho. And that's just going to improve this TA. They did it the exact same thing last time, securing their early kills, securing their early farm, and meanwhile up on top, they're actually going to get a kill onto Juggernaut. So Night Stalker picking up a kill of his own, and that's exactly what they need to do. They can't let this Juggernaut actually carry through the game. They're eventually going to have to focus up this Templar Assassin, without a doubt, because she completely controlled it last time, but they don't want to give any more sort of room to this team of Dilecom, because once you let a Juggernaut start to farm, getting that early blade spin, dealing up that damage, it's pretty difficult, as they do rotate in 2 here. Fissure coming out from Yogurt, and it'll be Zeo stuck in the trees for a little bit longer. They do spot him out with Jericho on the Bounty Hunter, but not much is going to get done out of this, as they will look to pull the lane. But Bounty's going to cut that from them, as He did rotate up on top. Minute Rune 2 coming up as Ancient Apparition will snag a fancy bounty rune for himself. He's going to be pretty poor through this game. Does grab up the early boots of speed with that early first blood. Or after the first blood, sorry. Did get the second kill. And with that, up on top, Haste Rune going out onto the bounty hunter, stolen away from the Night Stalker. They do ping it out. They know he was there. Ping top, telling him to go onto the Earthshaker. Does have enough mana for a fissure coming up in here in about 3 seconds, but Haste Rune will come up, and it looks like they're going to... They still haven't gone quite yet. It will be the Arctic Burn coming out from the Earthshaker, waiting for that fissure to come out, being blown up a little bit with the Spinner Blast. Does get the stun onto 2. Bounty running pretty low, but they might not have enough for this kill. No, he's going to be able to get out scot-free. Meanwhile, on mid, they are diving pretty deep on this Templar Assassin is. It will be the Chilling Touch going out on 2, and this is going to help the Shadow Fiend farm a little bit. Rotating into support, they definitely need some early souls onto this Shadow Fiend, because he's going to have a pretty difficult time on an already level 4 Templar Assassin. Gyrocopter doing pretty well for himself down on bottom. 17 and 2 on last hits, 15 and 7 for the Templar Assassin, so a little bit underneath him. This is exactly what TLC need to do. They need this early farm. Meanwhile, back on mid, they will be diving onto the Shadow Fiend, looking for that one last right click. It will be the Templar Assassin getting it with the side blades as tower hits going on to Jericho, but gets out in time as no vision here for the Ancient Apparition to secure a kill back for that Shadow Fiend. No revenge there, and this is slowly turning into another game here for this Templar Assassin. Already level 5. Let's take a look. Yeah, Shadow Fiend only level 4, so not too far behind her, but with these rotations coming out is already bearing down on them pretty hard. As quick little pause here as Shadow Fiend will come back. Maybe had a little bit of a problem on that last kill. A little bit of problem, a little bit of lag. So far, Team Dilecom really taking this game here. XP already over 500. It's not the biggest lead, but I mean, it just shows exactly what a Templar Assassin can do when you give these early kills. Currently 4-3 here for Team Dilecom, as meanwhile up on top, Earthshaker's slowly going to get harassed here. Has 6 last hits to his name. Juggernaut doing okay. He's got 16 to his. And has that early mango just in case they want to go for a little extra kill here with a double blade spin. And they're going to continue to stack this jungle here. AA doing exactly what he needs to do for his Shadow Fiend, as well as the Night Stalker has actually no camp stacked quite yet. And with this bird, he will spot out any deep jungle stacks. So they do get the 1 from the AA. Shadow Fiend having 12 souls currently online. Does pick up the bottle, so he might actually look to go straight into it as he's picked up his level 2 for Shadow Raises. Gonna go straight into the camp, try and clean these up as best as he can, but down on bottom, Bounty Hunter, or Beastmaster, sorry, it will be picking up a bottle as Bounty Hunter is rotating in. And they might actually look to go on this. Already falling pretty low. Jericho getting the early joinDOTA onto Yogurt, and that's going to be a Gyrocopter kill as Juggernaut picks up a kill of his own up on top. Both Yogurts going down here as Earthshaker will fall to the Juggernaut. Team Dilecom already leading 6-3. The rotation from the Bounty Hunter will definitely prove useful here. Beastmaster already hitting level 6 here in probably under 6 minutes by the time he's done with it. With that bottle, almost has his power treads too, and it's going to be pretty difficult for this Gyro to continue to farm, so they do rotate in the Ancient Apparition. Meanwhile on mid, they want to continue to dive past the Shadow Fiend, but just not enough quite yet as TA is pretty low, doesn't have her bottle quite yet, crowed back from the courier. But this Bounty Hunter doing quite well, almost already level 4. And soon to be getting that track online eventually, and with that, even more gold to these kills from this early TA, and that can again get her an early death, so that will blow up pretty much all the heroes for TLC except for really the Night Stalker. And it looks like a full rotation coming on a mid as they're looking for the fissure block. They do catch the TA, and Crippling Fear does go out as well, so they've taken her shield away, but I don't think they can really dive this too much longer as they're looking for the raise, but just out of range as she wants to turn this around, but nobody's in there quite yet. They do ping it out down on bottom. Bounty Hunter does track out that the Gyrocopter is into the jungle as the Beastmaster's wanting to dive in against AA, but they're going to spot out the Gyro here as he does throw out the call down. Shout going out, so the call down will miss on all. But they have dropped a Sentry Ward, so a little bit of damage getting done on both of Dilecom's members as they want to contest perhaps, but looks like they want to play this a little more cautiously than what I thought before, as Jericho is pretty low, almost out of mana, only has enough for one more Shadow Walk, as TA will get another kill on mid, does secure another kill onto the Shadow Fiend. And with that, almost level 7. Well ahead of the Shadow Fiend at level 5. And 3,000 gold net worth, 3,200 gold net worth. About 1k lead over the Shadow Fiend, so definitely controlling this lane already. Meanwhile, up on top, Juggernaut wanting to go for that early kill as the Splinter Blast does come out, gets Crippling Feared up, so doesn't have enough to throw out the Blade Spin yet, or the Healing Ward, so he does expend a salve. It will be the Winter Wyvern coming in from the side. She's level 4 already, does pick up the boots, and back on mid. Pushing back the TA, but she's already kind of won this lane. I mean, it's going to be so difficult for Ifrit to really control her up. She deals already so much damage, and with the levels from the shield, she's actually going to look to keep right-clicking him down and dealing so much damage. Doesn't have them nailed for any sort of burst yet, as they will rotate in the Night Stalker, looking for the Crippling Fear, but she's already gotten back. Gyro sitting pretty low, but has finished his ring. Almost has enough for power treads, and he's making his way. He's getting there comfortably. As current laugh sits top of the charts, 47 and 10. They really need him to come online. They really need this Gyrocopter. And meanwhile, up on top, Bladespin will go out onto the Earthshaker, and he's looking for that Fissure, but basically no point to use it as Bladespin still going on. That will finally finish the kill onto Yogurt number 3 yet again here. As Juggernaut picking up his second kill, I believe. Yeah, 2 and 1. And slowly going to start chipping at this tower. And with that, I mean, kills after kills around the map here for Team Dilecom. Already taking a pretty fancy lead here, almost 4k in net worth now. As Beastmaster has secured level 7. Spots out the Gyrocopter, and Gyro might have made a little bit of a mistake here. He's running really low, looking for the shout, and he will get it. Waiting for the blaze to come out. This might be enough for the kill, as the cooldown does come out. Needs about 1 more, maybe 2 more hits now that the boar is down, but also Earthshaker coming in running pretty low, and they will actually turn this kill. Night Stalker picking up the credit for that, so the full rotation of all supports coming in to save this Gyrocopter. They do manage to get it done, getting a kill on the Night Stalker. Saving grace there, as TLC did not want to let this Gyrocopter fall yet again. Doing that would just be detrimental, as he's 0 and 3 already. And he will actually go back to base. So up on top, Juggernaut's going to continue to farm here, as he's picked up his phase boots, picked up his Bassi, and with it turned on, they're going to start to push this tower. Also has level 7, almost level 8, so we'll be looking for an Omni Slash sometime soon, as Wyvern's been babysitting him pretty much this whole time, as she's almost hit her level 6. And the stacking's going to come out from Jericho, as Team Dilecom's really got this down to a T. I mean, their support's doing exactly what they need to, whether it's stacking, babysitting, rotating in for the ganks, starting to push towers together. They just know exactly what to do. And this TA can play so aggressive because she's so far ahead, as there's barely any stacks coming out for the Shadow Fiend. Is level 8, so getting his levels, but just not a lot of farm to his name, as his net worth slowly creeping up there, but just a 1k lead for this TA, and he's going to look to just TP out. And it should be more than enough to get out. Doesn't have quite the burst yet, as a killing spree will go out for the Juggernaut. Throws down the Gyrocopter, which is a huge kill onto him, and will take the T1 tower as a secondary bonus. Meanwhile, down on bottom, Night Stalker and A sitting pretty deep in the jungle. They don't want to jump onto him quite yet, as Jericho's kind of just playing it easy. They do kill the vision from the bird, but it's not even close to nighttime, and this would be the time to go onto the Night Stalker. Axes do come out just to sort of push and get a little bit extra vision onto the trees, as Bounty Hunter's just kind of sitting on the sidelines waiting to go out. They do not know that this Observer Ward is here, so they're kind of wasting a little bit of time, as they do rotate in the Gyrocopter. As the bird will spot this out, call down up in 2 seconds, and they look to actually go onto the Beastmaster, and both of them falling pretty low. Call down will finally come out, so this will secure a kill on the Gyrocopter, taking out the Beastmaster, but the Winter's Curse does come out from the Winter Wyvern, and it will be the Gyrocopter falling down, but the Winter Wyvern gets taken down in her own, and Ancient Apparition getting credit to that kill. That'll be a little bit extra gold for him. We'll see if he does go for that Midas, sitting at about 1,000 gold. He might actually want to just finish his boots, as Nighttime is activated, and Jericho's sitting pretty healthy. Does throw out the Shuriken, needs about 1 or 2 more hits. Nah, he's not going to be able to chase that one down. Night Stalker just a little too speedy right now, but that will secure him quite a bit of kills here. They do get a decent return here for TLC, as they do manage to bring down the Wyvern as well as the Beast. But all in all, taking out that Gyrocopter pretty early on, and it's taking him so long to farm up really anything. Does finish his power treads, only has the recipe for the bracer. I mean, He's getting his early game items online
Radiant's
eventually.
middle tower
Good
has
deny
been
here by the
denied.
Shadow Fiend on mid. But
Radiant's
back to the
top
Gyro.
tower
He is getting his
under
items
attack.
slowly but surely. Definitely better farm, I think, than the Lone Druid did have. But as you see, it's just not as tanky and bursted down super quick.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Down on bottom. It's going to slowly start to get pushed here as pretty much everybody's rotated in for Team Dilecom except for the Templar Assassin. And Healing Ward will
Radiant's
go out,
bottom
so I
tower
don't think
is
you're going to
under
see any
attack.
TP rotation coming out from TLC as they're pretty much all spread around the map. And Night Stalker's slowly going to get chased down here by this bounty. Does have his level 6, so track is up. And we'll toss it down to the Night Stalker.
Radiant
Look for some sort of
structures are
rotation here,
fortified.
possibly from TLC, because that's their tankiest hero. If they grab that kill,
Radiant's
it's going to be pretty
bottom
huge. As
tower
Templar
is
Assassin
under
will
attack.
rotate in, throws out the trap,
Radiant's
so it
bottom
will slow down the
tower
Night
has
Stalker, but
fallen.
just as that comes on, minute 12 is pretty good night time, as Dust will be expended by Zeo, and he might actually secure this kill on Jericho before he does fall down. Omni Slash is up if he wants to use it, but he gets stuck in the trees, and it will be the Shuriken for the kill onto Jericho, so wanted to chase down the kill, but not able to secure it before he actually falls. Down on bottom, the tower will fall to the Beastmaster. He's going to continue to push this, as Gyro wants a piece of gold for his own, as he's going to push the top T1 tower of Team Dilecom's.
Radiant's bottom tower
They're going to start to chase down the Shadow Fiend, as Ifrit falling pretty low, does have the wand charges, but the Fissure Block does come out,
Dire's top tower
and it will be the one last right click of Juggernaut to take out that kill, and going to steal the Ancients here, as TA does have the Mithril Hammer. She's getting pretty close to that Desolator, taking a little bit longer, I think. Took her about around that 12-minute mark to have it last time, so a little bit longer, but she will get it eventually, as she's almost already a level 11. Not as many kills this last time as early on, but the Juggernaut 4-1, so pretty comfortable for him. As the A Blast does come out onto 2, they will get this kill onto Gyro before he gets the last hit on the tower,
Dire's top tower
and it will be an
has
easy
been
deny.
denied.
TP out by the AA, so he gets away, but they're just trading these heroes for not what they want. I mean, Gyro pinging out, trying to get that last hit on the tower for that extra gold, but trades his life for it and gets nothing out of it, as they do deny that tower. So just not confident, smart plays by TLC that we normally see from them, and it's really costing them this game so far. I mean, they're not getting dominated as they were in the first game, but it's damn near close, as the stacks are now going to get cleaned up by Templar Assassin. This should secure her Desolator. I think it's going to be flying in shortly. All 4 have rotated up on top here, and with the Healing Ward, Necronomicon 1 online, so going to be able to start pushing down even harder, as the Bird will get extra vision here, and I mean, you can just see it. Barely any vision here for
Radiant's top
TLC,
tower is
as
under attack.
they have the 1 River Ward. They're actually going to chase down this kill, as Ice Blast does go out, but it will whiff onto the Templar Assassin. They want to grab this kill. Crippling Fear going out, as well as the Dust. Look how long it's taken them to kill her. I mean, she still has a death, so she can turn this around if she wants, but will finally fall to their Shaker, picking up a decent amount of gold, but gets traded in return here to the Bounty Hunter, and they might actually look to rotate around for extra kills. Ifrit does rotate down on bottom, and it looks like they're actually going to stand their ground here. Huge pickup onto the Templar Assassin. I think that's a pretty happy trade here for TLC, grabbing that TA, shutting her down. She did manage to finish her Deso just before she went down, though, so... Meanwhile, down up on top, Fake Mono going hard onto Yogurt, as he does expend the call down. Wand goes out, so healthy enough, and Omni Slash will be used to secure that kill for the Juggernaut. Healing Ward going out, and he's going to continue to push this tower. He's picked up his Sanjin Yasha, and with that kill, almost 1,000 gold in the bank, and this Gyrocopter, just so poor. 4,200 in net worth, as this Jugs is near 8k, TA at 7,300. It's going to be really freaking hard for them to come back from this. We'll take a look at the graphs real quick, as XP's dipped at about 4,000. And with that, it looks like TA is actually going to go to the Rosh Pit, and that's going to dip even farther, as on the gold graph, it will be over about an 8k lead. And I don't think they can really contest this. As I said with the Vision, I mean, they just don't have it. TLC has the one up and deep in the Dire Forest, but other than that, they're pretty hemmed into their base on these T2s. As Rosh is falling pretty low with this Desolator, the minus armor coming out heavy, and TA is going to pick this one up, and they're going to look to take out these extra T2s and possibly some other team fights, and then this lead is just propelled way out of any sort of comeback for TLC. This A playing the TA is continuing to dominate, as Zeo does jump onto, they do find out the Beastmaster, and it will be a kill for the Templar Assassin actually onto the Night Stalker, but he will grab Beastmaster in return. Rocket does fly out onto the Bounty Hunter. Both teams falling pretty low, but the track does go out onto the gyrocopter as he gets yet another kill. Jericho securing the second kill onto the Earthshake. Did come out, but will fall down to Ifrit. But look at the rotations here. All of them running pretty low, but with the track and the shield up for the Templar Assassin, they'll secure yet another kill and almost a team wipe. Just the Ancient Apparition getting out, and she does pick up a double damage rune. Still has the Aegis online, and she might actually look to just push this all the way. We'll clean up a couple extra creeps, but meanwhile on mid, Ice Blast will come out, but that's not going to stop this Juggernaut from continuing to march down on mid. Bake Mono completely ahead of this curve as he's got about 2,200 in the bank. And with that ring and Sanjin Yasha, Jericho on the sidelines, he looks to be going for a mech. Completely hemmed in here as they wanted to turn that team fight. They did grab 2 kills there, but with that track gold, I mean, you can already see it. Just with that small team fight, the change in gold, already about a 12k lead. I mean, that swung so much just with the track kills. And they're going to continue to push bottom. Beastmaster picking up the Necronomicon 2. As TA now has the Blink Dagger, so she can jump forward here. Still has the Aegis online for a couple more minutes, as well as the double damage rune. There's no stopping her. You cannot jump onto a TA right now, not with the Aegis online. And it will be Gyro throwing out the call down, and it's going to whiff on everybody. Earthshaker does get a huge fissure block, will jump ahead with the Echo Slam, did have the jump forward, and Kirk throwing out the Ice Blast, so they do manage to get 2 quick kills in trading for the Earthshaker. Yogurt falling pretty low, has the track up, and that will be the Aegis expired for the TA, but they're going to jump ahead forward. Juggernaut grabbing that kill onto the Gyrocopter, uses the Omni Slash onto the Shadow Fiend. That's 2 track kills. This Winter Curse does come out on top of the AA. Almost a team wipe yet again here. They're going to clean up this tier tower, traded for the Beastmaster. 3,000 gold exchange there with those track kills. I mean, this bounty pickup was a complete
top tower is under attack.
A complete guess that they were going to dominate again. I mean, I thought TLC would have offered a lot more coming back into this game for game number 2 after being stomped, but this TA is just rolling over them. There's just nothing they can do. And track will go out again. They're not going to be able to secure that kill, but they're going to push high ground either way. Healing ward expended by the Juggernaut, so they're going to be pretty healthy. Deso's going to burn this tower down pretty quick, and that's going to be a set of racks here for Team Dilecom, and already minute 18 again here. It's going to be pretty close to a last hurrah here for TLC as Nightstalker does expend the ultimate, is tracked up, so they're just going to kite him away. As Missile will go out onto the Bounty Hunter. They don't have any follow-up vision here. I don't even think they have any more dust. As they're going to take away that Missile, and they want to chase out. They do manage to protect their racks, and it's the melee that was half gone, so can regen as Nightstalker does pick up an armlet of his own. So they're turning this Nightstalker into more of a core here. Will tank him up, dealing a little bit more damage during nighttime, but it's just going to be so difficult as the Fissure does come out on the Beastmaster, falling pretty low as the Void is used as well. Waiting for a couple more ticks, and Call Down will be used, but he's going to get away. Bottle and Wand up. Yeah, he's going to be fine. Throws at the bird to get a little bit extra vision. They might actually look to turn this. His track is out. Nightstalker's running pretty low, and Nighttime's going to be down here in a second. As Bounty does jump onto Yogurt, and with the Shuriken Toss bringing him quite low as Jericho needs to get back, but here comes the TA jumping right in, along with the shout from the Beastmaster, gets healed up with the Cold Embrace, Ifrit in the back, throwing out the Requiem, but dealing almost no damage, just the slow, as Bake Mono does rotate in, has the Omni Slash, doesn't need it here in about 4 seconds, as mega kill streak for the TA, and they're going to start to push down this tier tower, and I mean, this is getting pretty close to it. There's just so many items here. TA has 3k gold, doesn't really need to buy anything. Ifrit, you just saw it, throws at the Requiem, but just no damage. 24 souls as he cleans up that, so probably had less to begin with. And all he can show for it is a Helm of the Dominator. They're just so frickin' poor. As they're going to get more vision, they're going to just rotate straight down to bottom as the creep wave's just about to meet them. Blink Daggers, plenty coming out for Team Dilecom as Bounty, as well as the Winter Wyvern, do come out.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
And they do manage to get the melee racks. Ice Blast coming in with the Fissure, will hit onto 2. As the Blade Spin comes away, Crippling Fear onto Jericho before he can go invis. This should be able to kill him. Yeah, Cold Embrace used, but not enough, as the Omni Slash will come out. That'll be an easy kill onto the Ancient Apparition. Gets bursted down here. Earthshaker taking him out, and they're just going to call GG. Easy 2 sweep here for Team Dilecom at the end of the group stages, throwing out the Winter's Curse, throwing their dominance around. Shout comes out too. They're just so full of it. They're just so happy, completely dominating them. And Team Dilecom taking this early game in both games. 18 minutes for the first one, 21 minutes for the second, and they stomp, completely roll over, shut down TLC Gaming. Top of the board, no more, as they'll jump right ahead here. Team Dilecom. I mean, look at that Templar Assassin, 9-1 and 8. Apparently shitty for her, as she had such a dominating first game, but nonetheless, Team Dilecom does manage to take the 2-0 sweep, as I said, time and time again, and I'm just amazed that TLC couldn't put up a fight. I've never seen TLC get shut down so easily. So, thanks everybody on the Twitch stream. That's going to be it for pretty much group stages. I believe there's one more game here for the American group stage anyway. I believe there's one more game for Dragoness. Not sure who's casting that one. Either way, thanks for coming out tonight. If you like the stream, go ahead and give us a follow on Twitch. It really does help us out. And give us a follow on Twitter. I'm at SubZeroDota, and you can find the rest of us at NMMDota. And as we always say here at New Meta Media, good fight, good night. See you later, everybody.